What's up, my content connoisseurs? It's Cody, and today we're going to be taking a look at The Invisible Man, a movie that will genuinely make you feel like you're being stalked, and where the trailer did not do this film justice. If you haven't gone and seen it yet, go ahead and take a look yourself, but without further ado, let's take a dive on into this review. With another Blumhouse film underway and another one in the books, it looks like The Invisible Man is the more successful of the two released early in 2020. The first being Fantasy Island, which was, yeah, it was interesting to say the least. But The Invisible Man, I was not entirely excited for. I didn't even plan on seeing it nor making a film review until I started seeing people across social media, YouTube, and even people from like Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes, whose scores I usually don't take at any more than face value or personal opinion, as they are little less critics than your average fan or moviegoer. But when I started seeing even other people just popping up saying that, hey, this movie's actually really good, hey, this movie's actually, pretty, intense, some of those scenes are actually pretty jarring, and I'm sitting there thinking, what movie are they talking about? Because we went in, my girlfriend was extremely excited for this film, but I, however, as I said earlier, was not entirely thrilled. I like Elizabeth Moss. She is a lesser known actress, but she is still, one of the top B tier kind of actresses, and I genuinely enjoyed her in this film. She brought a lot to the table with believability as far as the thriller aspect of the film. There were points in the film where you're thinking, could this actually all be in her head, or is it going to turn out to be what she's actually experiencing, like telling the truth and stuff? Or was it going to be one of those, cheesy, predictable films? And I thought I was kind of pretentious in this, sitting there in the theater like, man, I've got this film figured out. It's going to all be in her head. She's going to be the one doing it all. By the end of the film, without giving away too much or any spoilers, it was genuinely not what I expected. Like, it was just wholeheartedly an entirely different film from what the trailer did. Like I said, the trailer did this film no justice. The trailer just made it look like another one of those throwaway films. A lot like the Fantasy Island. Fantasy Island looked really intense, really interesting, and then we went and saw it in theaters together. Not a good movie. But genuinely not trying to get frustrated from how awful that movie was. Back on the topic of choice, Invisible Man does give you a sense of claustrophobia at times. It gives you a sense of somebody actually watching, and it gives you a sense of a mental thriller. When you're watching the film, you don't know what to expect next. When you honestly think you do, it just throws a curveball at you. And, while looking back on it or thinking back on it, some of the stuff in the film was, your typical cliches from horror, psychological thrillers of old. But for the most part, Elizabeth Moss spearheading the role for the character was really just a fantastic choice. I genuinely feel you see her from the beginning as it's just mentally weighing down on her, and it's just taking more and more out on her, and you could see like the physicality. And I don't know if this was maybe the makeup artist or the costume designers or what, but as the film progresses, you see her slowly start to like kind of tear away at herself in a way that she just looks visibly tired. And I thought that was whether it was intentional or not, I thought it was a nice attention to detail on the makeup or the costume designer's part. As far as the writing is, it does what it does. It gets you through the movie. At no point did I think this was a slow film. The first 5 minutes, I was kind of nervous to see if this film was going to be slower or quicker paced, and it had moderate pacing. As far as the rest of the film goes, again, I didn't expect much, so I'm coming into this with little to no knowledge of any of the other actors and actresses in this film. The only one that I did recognize was Elizabeth Moss, because we've seen her in other films before. But the actor who played the cop James, who is the father figure of the girl that Cecilia, Elizabeth Moss' character, is staying with, he did really well. He felt like a kind of an intimidating cop at points when he needed to be. He felt like a fatherly figure. His lines and stuff didn't feel hashed out or just, reading off a script. And at any point in this movie, it could have been like that. It could have been like Fantasy Island. I keep coming back to that movie because, goddamn, that movie was trash. But this one was just really well done. Just the writing, the pacing, the acting, the supporting cast, even the lighting in some of the scenes, and some of the visual effects that they did with very minimal what they did with as far as CGI goes for certain parts of the film. You'll see it when you see the film, but it didn't feel choppy. It didn't feel cheesy. Again, Blumhouse's Fantasy Island had CGI throughout, and it looked awful, man. Like when the people started melting into these weird fucking monsters, it was not fun to watch. It was kind of direct to get through. It was such sludge, like the film. But Invisible Man doesn't make you feel like that. I just keep coming back to the same points over and over at this point. But before I ramble on and just keep going in a circle, by the end of the day, I would definitely recommend seeing it. If you haven't seen it already, tons of reviews are praising this film. Nothing masterful, nothing out of the ordinary, just a good psychological thriller, the likes of which I will definitely be owning on Blu-ray when it comes out. But that's it, guys. If you've seen it, let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you haven't, check it out. Take a look, and if you have, by then come back and still leave your comments below. That's about it, guys. And remember to have a popcorn, grab a soda, and press play for these reviews. Thanks, guys. Bye.